Welcome and thank you for clicking on today's video. We are going to discuss both the X2 Mini versus the Lamzu Mini. We're going to discuss what I like about them individually, why these are my top two mice for the start of 2023. And come on guys, if you like this style of video, make sure you like down here, subscribe. Also go and let me know down in the comments what's your favourite mouse for the start of 2023. Anyway, let's get on to the video.
Okay, he's batted on me. He's one. I need help.
Get me? More fuck is there.
One.
Oh my god.
This guy's got 8
There's no way he just lost that.
So first off, we can speak about the unboxing experience of them both, and straight away the Lamzu wins. We're not going to go too long over this, but as much as I prefer the graphic design work on the X2 box, you know, it's very bland, boring, plasticky, nothing special, nothing you haven't witnessed before. Even this little puck here is like a saving thing, definitely like a cost saving little puck, because when you compare it to the Lamzu, you take out this nice sleeve, you get this nice opening experience. The card even feels like felt, like this is high quality itself. You wouldn't understand unless you touched it, but even that's high quality. And then they've got a whole wall of foam. You know, there's no cost saving, there's no cut on the quality anywhere. It's a very nice book-like experience. That's all we're going to say about the unboxing. I mean, on that one, the Lamzu's a clear winner. Who cares really? It's a box, right? We care about the mouse. Okay, so going on to the mice themselves, we've got quite a differentiation in shape, and we're going to try and bring the mouse closer to the camera as we can, so you can see that on the rear they look about the same width, but then there's quite a distinct roundness to the back here, and it's because the actual mouse, it like curves underneath. You'll see that the base itself is thinner than the top end of the mouse. Probably turn the mouse off so it doesn't glare with the sensor here. But yeah, you'll see that the actual top of the mouse is a lot wider than the bottom. So it almost allows your hand to go underneath the mouse here. I'm someone, because I play on fingertip, I like the width. I would like this to be brought out and flat. And that's why I think the X2 shape to me is just better. It doesn't go underneath here. It's all like a flat side. And it just means that you can get your pinky like really nice and flat down the side. But if you try and get your pinky down the flat on here, it is not comfortable at all, and it's because of this big round back end. The sensor placement is also further forward on the Lamzu. So if I bring these in line with each other at the back, you'll see it's quite distinct that this sensor is further forward. If I bring them back in line, you know. And this is all going to matter when it comes to range of movement, depending on your grip. So if you're someone that really likes to have the mouse like tucked into your knuckle area here, like you can see on my pinky knuckle just under here, that's touching now. Like it's going to be really nice where that sensor placement is, because it brings the back of the mouse into the back of your palm. So for a claw grip, this mouse is probably better because of that back shape. On this mouse, you don't really have as much space, you know, like because of that no back there. For fingertip users like me, this is a big range of movement that we can abuse with our fingertips. So this is why for me and fingertip grip, like I don't put any palm at all on the mouse. This mouse shape wise is so much more optimal. So this is where the only differences between these, honestly, I would sit there and make your decision, is depending on what grip you use. If you're someone that uses claw grip, then you're definitely going to like some of the factors of the Lamzu, because there's another thing, the hump, or if they stop wobbling for one moment, yo guys, I like the energy, but chill. So you can see here, right, the Lamzu hump is distinctly taller. It's also slightly different location wise. It comes just a little bit more central compared to this. This one, it's like, if I bring it on sideways, it might be easier to tell. The hump itself is a bit more rear located on the X2. And then the hump on this one is just a little bit more central. Very minor difference. It's not as far Here it's just a little bit more central. But again, that's like very much a great place to have your knuckle if that's what you do with your grip, or even if you bring it back to the bottom of your palm here, that whole thing is just going to be a lot nicer. However, on here, this, you know, you wouldn't really want to palm it unless you got the normal X2 size, but then that fingertip grip shape on this is just so good. Things I would just note is the skates out the box. You know, the skates on both of them are great out the box. The ones on the X2 really wore out quickly, and I don't know if it's because I used it on like a Hien clone, which is known to be a bit like, you know, sandpaper, light grit sandpaper, so that might have worn down these skates just a little bit faster. However, the skates on these seem to be holding up way better. I don't know if the skates are generally better, but there's also replacement skates that come with these. Could use this mouse for 12 months. Within 6 months, I was needing to replace these skates. So just other things to sort of be aware of. Does it stop the mouse being nice to use? Not at all. Things I would like to add to both of these mice. One thing I don't really like is the fact that these clicks are really rounded. You can see on the X2 we've got the concave clicks. I really like these. It just feels like it has a nice place for your fingertip. And then again, I think that's another thing, because the mouse profile is generally flatter. In fingertip, you don't slip down the mouse as much. With these being so rounded, it's so easy to slide down the mouse. The Lamzu Mini White is uncoated. This mouse is a lot slipperier. This one is painted and it has a much chalkier finish, much grippier. If you're going to go for any mouse nowadays, it does feel like uncoated generally ends up being a lot more sweat enticing and becomes slipperier after a bit of use. I have found that with the Lamzu. I'm struggling to fingertip this nearly as well as this, but it could just be the paint coating. I could get like one of these in another color and all of a sudden it would be like a whole world of difference, but I just don't know. All I can go off is what I've got here, and in general, yeah, I can just imagine this being much nicer for a claw grip user. Things to quickly mention as well is the clicks. These are optical switches and very crisp, very nice. The scroll wheel isn't overly light where it clicks in when you're like spamming it, which is again good, but you don't have that on either of these. This scroll wheel is lovely as well. Like, it doesn't randomly click when you're spamming it. The buttons are fine. They're just a little bit mushier. I don't think it really like changes your in-game sort of experience, but then as well, this was a first release and they've since updated these switches to optical, so they are now just the same. The only things really differentiating these mice, because when you look at it on the hardware level now, they are literally the same. So you've got 3395 sensors in both. You've got optical switches now updated, so both of them have them. The only thing that is really changing these now is sensor position and shape. And that's where I just sit there and think the only decision you should make between these two is what grip do you use? Do you use any palm on the mouse? In which case, go for this one, or go for an X2 normal size. Actually, if you go for just fingertip, this in my opinion is the best shape I've ever tried for fingertip. I've also got the Starlight, for example, and this is just far better. The Starlight needed to be wider. So if the Starlight was wider, then it might compete with this, but it's just the width, the actual width and flat sides on this make it beautiful for that fingertip grip. So yeah, that's my take on these two mice. Things to consider if you are looking at buying either of them. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask me in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe, and there'll be many of these reviews coming soon. We'll have one on this mouse pad. We've got a few coming on the Raiden. We may have a few mouse pads being sent out too, so there's going to be a lot more peripheral content and talk on this channel. Make sure to subscribe to see that in the future. Until next time, peace.